Hello, I'm Dr. Jubert, and I would like to tell you a little bit about the process of counseling and what the session is going to be like. I do want you to understand that whatever we discuss in this session is confidential, but in the event that you may talk about hurting yourself or hurting someone else, I may have to break that code of confidentiality. And I'll let you know that I'll be doing that before I do that. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay. So I am a counselor. I'm taking some skills classes, and I want to continue those with you. So today I noticed that you came in and you're having a few issues. Would you like to tell me about them? What's going on?
Sure. Well, you know, I lost both my parents 5 years, and I've just been a little bit down. I just can't quite, just not the way that I was before my mom died. My dad passed away first, and he and I were really close. And then after my mom passed away, I just kind of felt, I guess, like I was all alone, even though I know I'm not all alone. I just kind of feel like that, I guess, because they're gone.
Okay, so what I'm understanding you're saying is that you're feeling very alone because you're used to having your parents around and they're no longer here with you.
Right, yeah. Like I said, we were really, really close. I always, even though I was married and I had my own family, anytime that I needed somebody to talk to, even if it was just to console or confirm that what I thought was right, I would
Mm-hmm.
pick up the phone and I would call.
Mm-hmm.
And just to make sure that I was thinking right. And it wasn't that they were making my decisions for me, it was just we were so close that, we talked every day, and now they're gone, and I just miss them a lot.
I understand. I do understand. So you're telling me that you're very lonesome and you're not alone because others have dealt with the loss of their parents and so who is someone that you might confide in
I have
typically?
my husband,
Hmm.
and for the most part, I confide in him. But he kind of looks to me to be the one that makes the decisions and, just always knows the right thing to do. I guess he never really knew that I would always bounce it off my dad
Hmm.
before I would be confident and say, yeah, this is the right thing to do.
So it sounds like that was always your sounding board or your for your responses, just somebody you pitch it off to.
Right.
So how has your husband how has he responded to you since then? Does is he aware of the issues that you're having in regards to the way you typically go through your thought process?
No, I guess because for so many years it was just I was always the confident one because I had already bounced it off. And so he just kind of expects me to still have that. And he's like, it's been a while since you lost your parents. You got to get your snap back. His mom passed away many years before my parents did
Mm-hmm.
because she had cancer. So he doesn't understand. He's just like, you grieve and you move on, and you're not moving on. So, and it's not like I'm sad and depressed all the time. It's just I don't know. I just haven't got my snap back, I guess. Is where
I
I'm at.
understand. And everybody does grieve differently. So that's important for you to know that everybody grieves differently. Everybody has a different time. Like you mentioned that your husband, he was able to snap back more quicker or quicker than you. It seemed to him that it was, it was inevitable and we move on, But for you, because of the bond and the connection, things are a little bit different for you. So, on a scale from 1 to 10, where would you say you are in regards to feeling lonely?
It depends on the day. Some days I'm fine and there's no problems, and then other days maybe a 4 or 5.
Okay. So, where would you want to be on a scale from 1 to 10?
I know there's no perfect, so, a 2 or 3, I want to get to the point where, I still miss them, and, I have those good memories, but it's not like, I think it's mainly when like, something bad happens, or, I just, like, immediately I think, God, I just pick up the phone, they'll calm me down, or to make a big decision. And I know what the right thing to do is. I've been making decisions my whole life, but it's just
Mhm.
nice. It was always nice to just pick up the phone and just say, hey, what, this is what's going on, this is what I'm thinking, what do you think?
Okay.
And I don't know, that's when I really miss them, more. I mean, obviously on their birthdays and holidays, but that to me is, I guess, normal grieving, and it's expected. But I'm just trying to figure out how to, as my husband says, put my big girl panties on and uh, just get on with life.
Okay. So we would say that not basically getting on because you are moving day to day, but like your husband said, putting on your big girl panties. You want to not feel that loneliness or that void that's going on with you. So, what do you think there are some things that we can do to kind of compensate for that? Because grief is something that it's a process. It's not something that we can fix instantly or change instantly emotionally, because of our attachments and that longing that we have. So, just kind of putting some things in place, like have you maybe collected pictures of them or something that you can hold on to that's memorable for them?
I have just little things around the house that
Mhm.
remind me. It's just the kids and I kind of know what it means, and nobody else, if they came to my house, would know.
Have you found any comfort in that?
Some days it actually makes me feel like I'll see it, and it just makes me feel sad. It makes me miss them. But then other days, I just look and I just smile because, I just remember them. So, I guess it just depends on the day.
So, what are some things that you do have in place that does lighten your spirit in reference to your parents?
Um, Sometimes it's just like I'll look at a picture of them and I just smile, and because it was before they had gotten sick, and
Mhm.
they just looked healthy and happy, and it was their 50th wedding anniversary, and I just remember the day. Or just we have a chair in the house that it was my dad's chair, and it's worn out and it's ugly, and I keep saying I'm going to get it reupholstered, but then it's not my dad's chair.
Right.
Just little things. And sometimes I'll just go sit in it, and I just smile because I can picture him, all lounged back watching the news, or whatever. So.
Yeah. And that is comforting to know that you have something that's memorable of them. That's very comforting. Um, I am glad to know that you do find some comfort around you, that you're not feeling completely isolated and lonely. In reference, do you have any siblings?
We're not real close.
Okay.
I have a sister, and I have some aunts, because my parents that raised me were actually my grandparents, and my sister was raised by my biological parents.
Mm-hmm.
So she obviously doesn't understand. And then I have some aunts that were their actual children. And after my parents died, it was like my parents had money, and so everything kind of got splintered. We had one aunt that basically stole everybody's inheritance
Mm-hmm.
because my dad passed first, and she convinced my mom to just let her handle the affairs and put her on the bank accounts and everything. So she basically, when my mom passed, just cleaned out the accounts and put it all in her name.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
you know, I think that really like kind of splintered the family where, you know, everybody was angry and, you know, wanting to get a lawyer and fight it. And I just kept thinking, we're missing the point here.
Right.
You know, the point is they're gone, and why are we fighting? You know, everybody can make their own money. So I don't know. I don't really talk to them very much anymore.
Okay, I understand. So you still feel lonely in that area because there's a disconnect with the family. Okay, and but in reference to being lonely with your husband, you feel lonely because typically he's your sounding board, but you always had a. He's kind of more like the B backup. Yeah. Okay. Um. Well, I think maybe we need to kind of configure a way, or maybe we know that the goal is we don't want to feel lonely anymore. We want to feel a sense of strength and empowerment versus feeling lonely and withdrawn, or maybe kind of just maybe confused about your ideas or something like that. Um, that's definitely something we need to work on as we continue to go through this process. Because, like I said, grieving is not a process. Grieving is a process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. And I guess what I'm saying is we'll continue to work on those feelings and those emotions as we
Okay.
go on. And just keep an open mind about who you would consider as your support system, because if your husband was still your plan B, and you might need a different plan B, and maybe your husband is your plan A, or vice versa. You know, just maybe keep an open mind into who could be your sounding board or your backup for your other reference or support.
Okay.
Okay. In our next session, I would like to continue with this and go on and further venture into the process of what's going on with you, if that's okay.
Okay.
Okay. We will definitely continue, and I'll see you again next week.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.